Good morning, dear students. We begin a new chapter, lesson 4, simple equation, textbook page number 77. Now, written certain fill in the blanks which you can go through it, and I'll be explaining them later on as we do the exercise. Certain fill in the blanks are just for the sake of understanding. But please, children, I'll be sending the PDF notes and you can go through the fill in the blanks. I'll be explaining only the main topics which are needed for the lesson. So the first two fill in the blanks are really important. Let's understand. The name of the chapter is Simple Equations. The first fill in the blank is the different types of equations are dash. Now the different types of equations are linear equation, quadratic equation, cubic equation and polynomial. Now linear equation can be in one variable, or linear equation can be in two variable, or linear equation can be in three variable, or linear equation can be multivariable. Now what is its meaning, that I'll be explaining later on. Just now we only have to remember the names. Quadratic equation can be in one variable, it can be in two variable, or it can be in multivariable. Cubic equation can be in one variable or two variable, or cubic equation can be multivariable. And polynomial. Now what is the meaning of equation, that we'll be reading in the PDF notes, and as we do the lessons we'll be understanding about it. But equations have certain words which are used regularly. The first word we have to remember is variable. Variable means when any alphabet is used, then that alphabet is called a variable. For example, A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, P, Q, R, S, T, those alphabets of the English letters are known as variable when used in a mathematical equation. So let me read it further. When only one alphabet is used in the entire equation, then it is known as linear equation in one variable, because only one alphabet is used. But why is it known as linear equation? Because the highest degree of the alphabet or any number will be 1. When two or more alphabets are used, then we say it is an equation in two variables. But if the highest degree of any of the alphabets is 2, then we'll call it as a quadratic equation. But if more than two alphabets are used, then it is known as an equation in two variables or three variables or multivariable. So it depends on how many alphabets we are using in the equation. We call it as one variable, two variable or three variable equation or multivariable equation. But the meaning of linear equation means the highest degree or power in the alphabet will be 1, then it is known as linear equation. If the highest degree of any of the alphabet is 2, then it is known as quadratic equation. If the highest degree of any of the alphabet is 3, then it is known as cubic equation. And if any of the alphabets or numbers have a degree or power greater than 3, then it is known as a polynomial equation. But mostly we'll be learning in this chapter only about linear equation in one variable. Rest of the two topics we'll be learning in 8th and 9th standard and 10th standard. So here our lesson is concerned with linear equation in one variable. So some of the fill in the blanks are given here. You can go through them, but we have to understand the meaning of variable. What is variable? The letters of the English alphabet such as A, B, C, D, P, Q, R, S, T, X, Y, Z, which are used for solving mathematical equation, they are known as variables. Now what is the meaning of equation? The mathematical representation of a statement or a puzzle, problem, sums using real numbers and variables or alphabets is known as equation. In each equation, the variable represents a real number. There is always an equality sign. The equality sign shows the value of expression to the left of the equal to sign and the value of expression to the right of the equal to sign. Now this all are topics which we'll be learning later on, but in the textbook also it is given. But we do not need to go too much into the theory part. Only how to solve the sums is important. So you can just read this topic, and we'll be discussing only if it is really needed while solving the sum. A very important rule you have to understand is the transpose rule. The meaning of transpose is changing sides. Changing sides is called transposing. While transposing a number or a variable in any equation, we have to change the sign of the number or the variable. Transposing a number is the same as adding or subtracting a number from both the sides of an equation. Transposing means to transfer the number or a variable from the left hand side to the right hand side, or to transfer a number from right hand side to left hand side. While transposing a number or a variable, we need to use the opposite mathematical operational functions. So this table I have prepared, and we can go through them, but children, sometimes even this will become boring for you. So as we do the sums, then only you will really understand what is the meaning of this rule. So while doing the sums, we'll discuss this table in detail, where plus sign becomes minus when we are transposing a number from left hand side to the right hand side. If minus sign is there and we are transferring the minus sign from left hand side to the right hand side, it becomes plus sign. Multiply becomes divide, divide becomes multiply. Square root becomes square, cube root becomes cube, and square becomes square root, and cube becomes cube root. So one example I can give you, suppose it's given x plus 5 is equal to 7, and plus 5 we need to send on the right hand side. Plus 5 is on the left hand side of the equal to sign, and plus 5 we need to send on the right hand side. Then plus 5 will become minus 5. Similarly, in an equation x minus 7 is equal to 8, minus 7 we need to transfer on the right hand side. Then the minus 7 will become plus 7 when we are transferring it from the left hand side to the right hand side. Or if we are transferring from the right hand side to the left hand side also, we have to use the opposite mathematical function. That means only we have to remember the mathematical functions which are opposite of each other. Plus and minus are opposite of each other. Multiply and divide are opposite of each other. Square root and square are opposite of each other. Cube root and cube are opposite of each other. And similarly, the opposite. Square is opposite of square root, and cube is opposite of cube root. So this table, you have to just go through it, and while doing the actual sums, you will understand this in a much better way. So just now, we are not going into the detail. When we start exercise, you will understand this slowly in a much better way. Also, while solving equation problem sums, certain words will be given. These words we have to replace and use these mathematical functions. When the word sum is given in the sentence of the problem sum, we have to use the plus sign or the addition sign. When the word total is given in the problem sum or in the sentence anywhere, then we have to use the plus sign or the addition sign. And when the word add is given, we have to use the plus sign. When the word subtract or take away is given in the sentence in the problem sum, then we have to use the minus sign. When the word difference is given in the problem sum in the sentence, then this word difference has to be replaced by the minus sign. When the word more than or less than is given, we have to use the minus sign. When the word divide is given, then we have to use the divide sign. When the word part of is given in the problem sum, then we have to use the divide sign. When anywhere in the sentence result is given in the mathematical problem sum, we have to use the equal to sign. When the word left or yields is mentioned in the problem sum, we have to use the equal to sign. If it is given, the word gives or get or is used in the whole mathematical problem sum, we have to use the equal to sign. If in the problem sum anywhere the word product is used, we have to use the mathematical function of multiply. And if the word times is given, then we have to use the mathematical function multiply. We can discuss this with certain examples as we do the sum. Suppose it is given the sum of unknown number and 5 is 10. Then the word sum is used. So children, we have to use the plus sign. The sum of an unknown number and 5 is 10. That means our equation will be x plus 5 is equal to 10. The unknown number we can take as any alphabet. For example, we can take the alphabet x or Y or Z or A or B or any of the alphabets. But mostly in the textbook and most of the higher classes, there is a tendency to use the alphabet X or Y or Z, and in some cases the alphabets A, B and C are used. Other alphabets are also used, but they are used rarely. A majority of the time the alphabet X or Y or Z is used to replace the unknown values or the unknown numbers. And these alphabets which are replaced in the equation, those alphabets are known as variables. Suppose it is given the difference of a number and 5 is 8. Then we'll use the minus sign because the word difference is used. The difference of an unknown number and 5 is 8. That means x minus 5 is equal to 8. That means when the word difference is used, we have to use the minus sign. Suppose I say Ravi's marks are more than Shyam's by 6. That means we have to find the difference of their marks. That means we have to subtract. I have mentioned that whenever the word more than is used, we have to use the minus sign. Ravi's marks are more than Shyam. That means Ravi's marks minus Shyam's mark is equal to the value given. So here Ravi's marks minus Shyam's mark we have to do. That means we have to do the minus sign. Similarly, if the word less than is used, then we have to use the minus sign. Suppose we say Ram got less than Shyam by 1 mark. That means Shyam's mark minus Ram mark is equal to 1. That means the greater number has to be written in front. Ram got 1 mark less than Shyam. That means Ram's marks are less and Shyam's marks are more. So greater number minus smaller number we have to do. Shyam has got more marks. So Shyam's marks minus Ram's mark is equal to the given value, that is 1. Shyam's mark minus Ram's mark is equal to 1. Similarly, when the word part of is used, we have to use the divide sign. The fifth part of a number is 10. Then our equation will be, fifth part means we have to divide by 5. Fifth part of a number, that means x upon 5. X divided by 5 is 10. The fifth part of a number is 10. That means x upon 5 is equal to 10. When the word part of is used, that means we have to use the divide sign. Fifth part means we have to divide by 5. The seventh part means we have to divide by 7. The third part of a number means we have to divide by 3. Similarly, whenever the word result is used, we have to put the equal to sign. When two numbers are added, the result is 5. That means those two numbers are added and the answer will be equal to 5. The result is 5 means answer is equal to 5. Similarly, when the word left or yields, gives, gets or is used, you have to put the equal to sign. On subtracting 5 from an unknown number, we get 7. That means when the word get is used, we have to put equal to. On subtracting 5 from an unknown number, 7 is left. That means we have to write equal to 7. When the word left is written, that means we have to use the equal to sign. Similarly, when the word product is used, we have to use the multiply sign. The product of two numbers x and 5 is 10. That means the unknown number x and 5 has to be multiplied and the answer will be 10. That means when the word product is used in the sentence, we have to use the multiply sign. That means the product of a number x and 5, that means x has to be multiplied with 5. X into 5 is equal to 10. Or we can say 5x equal to 10. Whenever alphabet and numbers are given, the number should be written in front and the alphabet should be written behind. Or we can say the number should be written on the left side and the alphabet should be written on the right side. That means if multiplication is there, we have to use this rule. That means if addition or subtraction is there, we have to follow the order of the sentence given. But when multiply is given, we will not write x into 3, but we will write 3 into x or 3x. We will not write it as x3. Please remember, we will not write it as x3. The number should come in front. 3x we will write. When word product is given, then the number is in front and the alphabet should be behind. So the number 3 will be written in front on the left side and the alphabet x will be written behind. So we'll write it as 3x. 3 multiplied by x means the product of a number and x means the number 3 and x should be multiplied, and 3 and x, the number 3 should be written in front. When the word times is given, we have to use the multiply sign. That means in a sentence or a problem sum, if it is given 5 times a number is 100, that means 5 times the number has to be multiplied. That means the number, let's say x, has to be multiplied 5 times. That means 5 into x, or we can say 5x. Here also the number will be written on the left side and the unknown number will be written on the right side. So 5x we will write. We will not write it as x5. And whenever multiply sign is there, we normally do not write the multiply sign between the alphabet and the number. We just write the number and the alphabet together, 5x. We will avoid writing 5 into x. Please remember, when no sign or symbol is given between a number and alphabet, it is always assumed that the multiply sign is there. Similarly, when the bracket sign is there, it means the multiply sign is there. Please remember this, children. Let us see some examples in exercise 4.1, page number 81. Exercise 4.1, textbook, page number 81. Please, children, remove your textbook, page number 81. The first question is, complete the last column of the table given in the textbook and say whether the equation is satisfied or not. So here in the first sum, it is given x plus 3 equal to 0 for x equal to 3. Now the value of x is given, that is 3, and in the equation we have to substitute the value of x. That means instead of x we have to write 3 and the rest of the things we have to copy as it is. So instead of x we write 3, plus sign we copy, 3 we copy, equal to we copy, and 0 we copy. And then we'll solve further. 3 plus 3, the answer is 6. 6 equal to 0. This 0 we copy as it is. 6 equal to 0. Is this correct or wrong? This is wrong. This is false. So we can say the equation is not satisfied when x equal to 3. That means by putting the value of x as 3, the answer on the left hand side and the right hand side are not equal. So when they are not equal, that means we can say the value given is not satisfying the equation. That means x equal to 3 is not satisfying the equation. So we can say it is false. The second example, x plus 3 equal to 0 for x equal to 0. So instead of x, we substitute the value 0 and rest of the things we copy as it is. Instead of x, we write 0 plus and 3 we copy as it is, equal to and 0 we copy as it is. 0 plus 3, the answer is 3. On the left hand side, we get 3 and the right hand side is 0. 3 equal to 0. Are they equal? No, they are not equal. It is wrong. It is false. Hence, we say the equation is not satisfied when x equal to 0. Let us go to the third example. In the third example, x plus 3 equal to 0 and the value of x is given as minus 3. That means instead of x, we have to copy the value minus 3. We have to substitute the value minus 3. Minus 3 plus 3 equal to 0. Rest of the things we have to copy as it is in the next step. Now minus 3 plus 3, the answer will be 0. 3 minus 3 is 0. On the left hand side we get 0. On the right hand side we get 0. Are they equal? Yes, they are equal. It is true. Hence we can say the equation is satisfied. Hence whenever we put the value x equal to minus 3 in this particular equation, the value is coming true, or we get the answers equal on both the sides, left hand side and right hand side. LHS and RHS we get the equal value. So we can say the equation is true or it is satisfied. Let's go to the fourth example. X minus 7 is equal to 1 and the value of x is equal to 7 is given. Let us substitute the value and check out whether the equation is equal on the left hand side and the right hand side. The left hand side part is called the expression. The right hand side part is called the expression. So there are two expressions in this equation. Please understand, when only the left hand side is given and no value or no equal to sign is given, then it is known as an expression. So in this, equal to sign is there and the left hand side there is something and the right hand side there is something and equal to sign is put in between, then this type of sentence or mathematical symbol statement is known as an equation. But individually, the left hand side is known as an expression. The right hand side is known as an expression. An expression can contain only a number, or it can contain a number also and an alphabet also. And when there is an expression on the left hand side and an expression on the right hand side and an equal to sign in between, then we say it is an equality. But if greater than, less than, or smaller than symbols are given in between the two expressions, then we cannot say it is an equation. Please remember this. Only if the equal to sign is there, then we can say it is an equation. Otherwise, it is not an equality, it is not an equation. Please remember this. Now, let us substitute the value of x equal to 7 in the equation and check out whether the equation is satisfied or not. So, instead of x, we substitute the value 7 minus 7 equal to 1. 7 minus 7, we get 0 on the left hand side, and this 1 on the right hand side we copy. 0 is equal to 1. Is it correct or wrong? It's wrong. So, we say it is false. Hence, the equation is not satisfied when the value x equal to 7 is substituted. Let's check the fifth example. X minus 7 is equal to 1 for x equal to 8. Now we have to substitute the value of x as 8. Instead of x, we'll write 8. 8 minus 7 is equal to 1. Rest of the things we copy as it is. Instead of x, we write 8. Minus we copy, 7 we copy equal to, and 1 we copy as it is. 8 minus 7, when we solve, the answer will be 1. On the left hand side, we get 1, and the right hand side, we get 1. And the equal to sign is there in between. So 1 is equal to 1. Is it true or false? Yes, it is true. It is correct. So we can say the equation is satisfied when x equal to 8. So when x equal to 8 is substituted, then the answer becomes true on both the sides, left hand side and the right hand side. And like I said, remember children, the left hand side is called an expression, the right hand side is called an expression, and when there is an equal to sign in between, then it is called an equality. Let's go to the sixth sum. 5x equal to 25 for x equal to 0. Now, when we substitute the value of x as 0, please children, please observe here that between 5 and x there is no symbol, there is no addition subtraction sign. So when there is no addition subtraction sign between an alphabet and a number, or between two alphabets, then we have to remember that the multiply sign is applicable. That means between 5 and x the multiply sign is there. So here we substitute the value inside a bracket. So x will substitute as 0. So 5 bracket 0 we have to write. Otherwise, if we just write 5 and then we just write 0, then 5 0 it becomes 50 and the sum will become wrong. So here, in order to substitute the value, children, please remember that we have to put the bracket 5 bracket 0. That means 5 is multiplied with 0. The bracket rule means the multiply rule. Bracket rule means multiply rule. 5 bracket 0 means 5 has to be multiplied with 0. 5 into 0, the answer is 0, because in 0's table all the multiples are 0. So please remember, when 0 is multiplied with any number, the answer will be 0. 5 multiplied by 0, the answer will be 0. In the left hand side we get 0, and on the right hand side we get 25. 0 is equal to 25. Is this correct or wrong? This is wrong. So we can say it's false. Hence the equation is not satisfied when x equal to 0. Let's go to the seventh sum. In the seventh sum, 5x equal to 25 for x equal to 5. So here also between 5 and x there is no mathematical symbol of addition or subtraction. That means which rule applied? That means we apply the multiply rule. 5 into x. So while substituting the value, we have to put the value of x in a bracket. 5 bracket 5 is equal to 25. If we do not put the bracket, it will become 5 5 55 and the sum will go wrong. So whenever there is no addition or subtraction sign, that means we have to remember the multiply sign is applicable, and while substituting the value of the unknown number, we have to put the bracket symbol and then we have to substitute the value. Here 5 bracket 5 means 5 into 5. Bracket rule means multiply rule. 5 into 5, 25. In the left hand side we get 25, in the right hand side we get 25, and both the left hand side and right hand side are equal. That means we can say it is true. Hence the equation is satisfied when x equal to 5. Let's check the eighth sum. 5x equal to 25 for x equal to minus 5. Now here the value of x is given as negative 5 or minus 5. So instead of x we have to substitute minus 5. But we will substitute the value in a bracket because between 5 and x there is no addition or subtraction symbol. That means multiply symbol is there. And multiply rule is applied. That means we use the bracket rule or the multiply rule. Bracket rule means the multiply rule. If we just write 5 bracket 5, then it will be 50. If we just write 5 minus 5, then the answer will become 0. Then also the sum is wrong. So here the bracket rule or the multiply rule we have to apply. Hence we put the bracket and then substitute the value. That means we do not have to do 5 minus 5, but we have to do 5 into minus 5. So instead of doing 5 minus 5, we are doing 5 into minus 5. So 5 into minus 5, the answer is minus 25. In the left hand side we get minus 25. Right hand side 25 we copy as it is. And are this left hand side and right hand side equal? No, they are not equal. It is false. Hence we can say the equation is not satisfied when we substitute the value x equal to minus 5. Let's go to the ninth sum where m upon 3 is equal to 2 and the value of m is given as minus 6. So we have to substitute the value of m as minus 6 and check whether the left hand side and right hand side are equal or not. So instead of m we write minus 6, then upon 3 we copy as it is, equal to 2 we copy as it is. With 3 stable 6 can be cancelled. 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6. 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6. So in the next step we'll get minus 2 upon 1. Minus 2 upon 1. The answer will be only minus 2 because we have learnt whenever the denominator is 1, that means the answer will be the numerator integer. The numerator is minus 2, so that will be our final answer on the left hand side, that is minus 2. In the right hand side, this 2 we copy as it is. Minus 2 is equal to 2. Are they equal? No, it's not equal. It is false. So we can write down the answer statement. Hence the equation is not satisfied when m is equal to minus 6 is substituted. Let's go to the 10th example. M upon 3 is equal to 2 and the value of m is given as 0. So instead of m, we have to substitute the value of 0. 0 upon 3 equal to 2. Now when 0 is divided by any number, the answer will be 0 only because 0 cannot be divided. That means any number cannot divide 0. You cannot cancel or divide 0 with any number. That means the numerator is 0 and there is a denominator any other number, then we can say the answer will always be the numerator 0, or we can say 0 will be the answer. When 0 is divided by any number, the answer will be 0. So left hand side is 0, right hand side is 2. 0 is equal to 2. Are they equal? No, it's not equal. 0 cannot be equal to 2. It is false. Hence the equation is not satisfied when m is equal to 0 is substituted in the equation. Let's go to the 11th example. That is m upon 3 or m divided by 3 is equal to 2. Here the value of m is given as 6. Let us substitute the value of m as 6 and check whether the answer on the left hand side and the right hand side are equal. So instead of m, we'll write 6 and upon 3 we copy as it is, 2 we copy as it is, 6 divided by 3 or 6 upon 3. It means we can do cancellation because 3 stable we can cancel 6. 3 1s are 3 2s are. 3 1s are 3 2s are. The answer will be 2 upon 1. That is equal to 2. And we have learnt in the chapter of fraction, when in the fraction the denominator is 1, the answer will be the numerator answer. The answer will be the numerator integer. So here the numerator is 2. So answer will be 2 in the left hand side, and right hand side we copy as it is. So here the final step will be 2 is equal to 2. Are they equal? Yes, they are equal. So we can say it is true. Hence the equation is satisfied when m is equal to 6.